Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. I'm just waiting for Lalit Ambardar to join us. So, meanwhile, let me just talk about the first piece of news with regards to Nupur Sharma. Bangladeshi author Taslima Nasreen today slammed the protesters who have been blatantly damaging public property, demanding the arrest of BJP leader Nupur Sharma. 2 days ago, Taslima Nasreen had said, "No one is above criticism. No human, no saint, no messiah, no prophet, no God. Critical scrutiny is necessary to make the world a better place." Muslim community members on Friday and Saturday carried out countrywide protests demanding the arrest of BJP leader Nupur Sharma over her controversial remarks on Prophet Muhammad. Though what she has clearly said is that whatever she has said comes clearly from the Quran. Protests for Nupur Sharma's arrest were carried out at Delhi's Jama Masjid, Hyderabad's Mecca Masjid, Ludhiana's Jama Masjid, Kolkata's Park Circus, Prayagraj's Atal area. As per the latest reports, 2 people died during protests in Jharkhand's Ranchi, while many were injured in West Bengal's Howrah. In West Bengal, a large number of people gathered at Kolkata's Park Circus and demanded the arrest of suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma and expelled leader Naveen Jindal. In UP's Prayagraj, stones were hurled during clashes in Atala area after the Friday prayers. Now, here, what I'd like to tell you, friends, is that, see, when I was in Dubai, at that time, the Sheikh Mohammed's government was facing a very big problem with, the Muslim Brotherhood. They were called the Muslim Brotherhood or the Brotherhood of Muslims. So this had, come from this movement or this group had come from Egypt, and he was trying to somehow control this because they wanted to overthrow the ruling regime, which is Sheikh Mohammed himself. And what happened was that Sheikh Mohammed noticed that every Friday at the mosque, a lot of anger against his regime was being spewed, by the people preaching in the mosque. So what they did, this was, I remember very clearly because we were there at that time. What I remember very clearly that he sent his army to completely, cover all the mosques and gave them a warning, that if and many of them were put in jail. And he said if he even heard a whisper of this kind of thing, they will face very severe consequences. So here also what you will see is that during the Friday namaz, something has been spread. And that's why these people have, in an organized manner, done these protests. And it cannot be done without the okay from all the mullahs in the masjids. So this is a very, what you call, a targeted attack against our government, against our prime minister, and against the leader, Nupur Sharma. So this is not only, you don't see it as an isolated incident, but it is also, an attempt to sort of overthrow our prime minister, Narendra Modi, by showing him that there is no tolerance in India. So let me just check what's happening with Lalit ji. 1 second, hold on. Meanwhile, another piece of news is that the Kashmir-based YouTuber Faisal Wani, who depicted the beheading of Nupur Sharma, deleted his tweet and he apologized. Nupur Sharma, who had made certain comments on the Prophet, has been facing death threats for the last few days. Protests have erupted in parts of the country, with some asking for arrests and even the hanging of Nupur Sharma. Now, Kashmir based YouTuber Faisal Wani, who had earlier posted a VFX video depicting the beheading of the suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma, has now deleted his earlier tweet and issued an apology. Yeah, so let me just add, Lalit.
My
Welcome.
apologies, ma'am. I'm
No,
so
not
sorry, and my apologies to your viewers, subscribers.
no
Just can't
problem.
control my schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, not a problem, Lalit. So we just started off with the first piece of news where we've said that Taslima Nasreen has also attacked the fanatics and showed support for Nupur, and says that, see, in her the sing words, she says that no one is above criticism, no human, no saint, no messiah, no prophet, no god. Critical scrutiny is necessary to make the world a better place.
Uh,
So if you look at the way all these protests were done in Jama Masjid, Hyderabad's Mecca Masjid, Ludhiana's Jama Masjid, Kolkata's Park Circus, Prayagraj's Atal area, it is a very planned effort, Lalitji, by the mullahs. So it's a very targeted mission to sort of overthrow whatever Modi ji is doing. So please tell us your view about what's happening and the kind of anger Hindus are feeling.
uh, I have my own take on such matters. It's very often whenever I address an audience or I'm on any platform on television, many a times, because in my conversation when I'm speaking on politics, analyzing something, this Islam, Hindu, or Islamism, these are the terms which often come to your mind because when you're speaking against Kashmir Jihad, you're speaking against global jihad, then definitely these terms will emerge in your conversation. But I make it a point to announce a disclaimer when I'm talking about Islam or Muslim or Islamism. It's not anything to do with the faith. I do not want anybody to even comment on anybody's faith. Faith can be blind, we know all that, right? But I talk about political Islam, which is exclusivist, which is supremacist, which is terror infested, and which is expansionist. So it's very clear. So faith need not be touched because there are so many, I call them Sanatani Muslims, who share the same Sanatani values as the rest of us do in India. They are also part of the same Sanatan resurgence movement across India. And they are few though, but they are there. So when I'm talking about Sanatan resurgence, I also hold that respect for their sentiment in their belief. And I know they would never subscribe. There was this, I don't want to name her now, because she's such a charged environment, all that, although she has spoken on the public platform. We were together on a television show when we met for the first time. She's a very popular public figure. First time we were on the, when we met personally on a platform, we had a picture together and she put it on the Facebook. You should have seen what kind of filth she received. And even me, that they thought, how can a Muslim woman be, sharing a frame with a Hindu? And she put it so with such a dignified manner. She made that introduction. She said, I'm meeting Lalitji for the first time. It's with a pleasure. He's an engineer. He's an actor. He's such a known, all those things. But people got irked. That's the kind of charged environment. I don't want to speak about it. But she said it. She said, what you may not agree with what Nupur has said, right? We should not be even talking about this case. It's a sub judice case. We don't want to jeopardize what she has in store already. What she must have planned something. Let's not even do that. But this spokesperson, this Sanatani Musalman, she says she charged the mullahs. It is because of you. You say the hadith is mentioned in the hadith. You should have written off the hadith long time ago. She says, I don't believe in hadith. I believe this is a distortion of my Allah, of my Prophet, of my Quran. So this is her statement. So I'm quoting her. I heard a video clip today only. It was viral on the internet. So so faith is important. So please respect faith. I also often speak about Ashfaqullah. Ashfaqullah, the friend of um, uh, Ram Prasad Bismil, before he was hanged, he was a Nimazi, hardcore believer in Islam, five-timer Nimazi. And he said, Koi arzu nahi hai arzu to bas itni ki koi khake watan dal de kafan pe. Such a devout Indian, such a devout who loved the dust of this nation. And look at these Islamists, they don't even, they have hesitation in saying Vande Mataram. So for me, he is the hero. So all these people, in fact, this is not it will not be blasphemy if I say, and I say it very often and vehemently, Muslims have to retrieve Islam. And I think the process has begun in Saudi Arabia. Prince Salman is doing it because they are responsible for all those Wahhabi Sunni conflicts that are happening all over the world. Saudi Arabia is the fountainhead of Wahhabism. They are taking into cognizance. They are trying to retrieve it. They are trying to get rid of this orthodoxy, radicalization, and all that. I think we have to wait till the internal reforms happen. Till then, this Islamism-inspired, pan-Islamism-inspired vociferousness, this rebel-rousing, this terror, we can only contain. Look at one point of time, how simultaneously this erupted across India. So I don't know, the thinkers in the community have to realize the Friday Namaz has become, is being identified with rioting. And we have seen it in Kashmir. Before the eruption of this terror-infested jihad, when AK-47 came on in the hands of jihadis, and then when they started assaulting Hindu women, before that, jihad was from Jummah to Jummah, Friday to Friday. Every Friday, you would see the same scene across Kashmir Valley. If on any Friday, I would tell my mom that I just want to visit a particular area.
Yeah.
She would tell me, "Pagal hai kya? Aaj kyun jayega? Aaj to Jummah hai." Are you mad? You want to visit that area? This is today is Friday. Why should we be going there? So we know what happens in Kashmir after every congregation. I don't know why should a religious experience suddenly convert itself into a political congregation.
See,
and on Friday,
Lalit,
these mullahs get a ready-made audience because people come to worship and they become listeners for political absurdity, and it happens invariably. We have that Maulvi Farooq in Kashmir. I call him as a moonlighting Maulvi. He is a part-time Maulvi, full-time Pakistani stooge operating on the soil of Kashmir, and he's supposed to be a Maulvi in front of you on that auspicious night of Shab Qadr, I think it was, and that DSP Ayub Pandit was lynched right in the Jama Masjid of Srinagar. And there was no uproar, no stone pelting against that, nothing. So this Muslims have to do it. Reforms have to come from within. As far as Nupur Sharma is concerned, I think this high time, at this moment of time, India calls this, who's that Naik, Zakir Naik, to testify whether what she has said is right or not. Because, but for one word for consummation, she used the S word. I think everybody. I have heard Arab mullahs using the S word for the same statement, because not many understand the word consummate so easily. The word comes to one's mind who knows little English. S word comes straight into the mind, so the word was used. So it has hurt sentiments of the people, and it has been blown out of proportion. Other day I was at India International Center. I met people, very educated people. They said, "Why did Nupur have to says that?" I said, "What did she say?" She said something which is not at all true. I said, "Why did you hear it?" "Oh, no, I see. Go to Times Now website and hear what they have mentioned there. What is the conversation? How she was provoked into it." But at the same time, I would advise everybody, never ever get into the faith of any religion. This whatever be the provocation, control yourself. That's very important. You have no right to hurt somebody's sentiment, because there are people on the road, there are people in the street who are genuinely hurt, and I respect that. I respect. But why they are not hurt when their co-religiousness mock my religion? Although my Mahadeva is supreme, is a Mahadeva, the Brahman. He doesn't need validation from those who don't matter. But yet, if you think your faith is sacrimonious, So please respect other faiths. They have been mocking at us. Remember during Ayodhya agitation, they would on live television ask you, literally ask you, produce Bhagwan Ram's birth certificate to prove that he was born there. Even now, we say that is a Shivalinga there, right? Just for the courtesy, show that courtesy. All right, till the matter is sub judice, we respect your sentiment. Let it remain so. When the court gives the verdict, we'll decide whether it is this or that. Simple. But they want to mock at your religion, and we have been living with it. We have got, I don't know whether your listeners would be knowing about it. Before partition, similar situation occurred in 30s. There was this campaign done by Muslims, radical Muslims. They issued a pamphlet, blasphemous pamphlet against Krishna, right? And then there came another pamphlet in the market which was blasphemous against the Muslim mythology. And nobody knew who had written that. But the publisher was known, and that publisher was killed. And that person who killed him, his case was fought by none other than Muhammad Ali Jinnah in his favor, the person who killed the publisher, Hindu publisher in Lahore. But the trial, the court verdict went against that accused, and he was hanged to death. Can you imagine who who gave the shoulder to the funeral of that assassin? None other than Muhammad Iqbal. And you know what he said in Punjabi? He said in Punjabi, "Assi te vekhde hi reh gaye, Tarkhana da munda bazi maar ke leh gaya." We remained ordinary spectators while the glory went to the son of the carpenter. This is Muhammad Iqbal, who gave philosophical and academic basis to the creation of Pakistan, to two-nation theory. And we have in every university in India, we have a chair in the name of Iqbal. So Hindus have been taking it. When Fida Maqbool Hussain, he drew naked goddess. It doesn't matter. To me, for example, personally, my faith, my Sanatani faith is too overwhelming, too spiritual, too worldly, too universal, that these people cannot hurt, cannot do any indignity to my faith. But at the same time, if you think you are hurt, you need to respect the sentiments. And the very Qatar gave citizenship to this man. We did not throw stones at anybody. We did not lynch anybody. The people went to the court, lodged cases against that artist, painter, right? And this very country offers refuge to him. And this very country is also known one of the principal sources of funding for ISIS. This Qatar is the host to Taliban, has been host to Taliban. There in Doha, whole Afghanistan, men, women, and children of Afghanistan were traded for the liberty, for the safe exit of America. Joe Biden did it right in Doha. And let them also think about it. They don't blackmail us. I don't know what the government of India has done. Possibly this is what diplomatic ought to have been done. But we're not dependent on them. They can't hold that gas and breathe with that. They have to sell that gas. And India is one of the biggest markets in the world for energy resources, right? So they are dependent on us, number one. Number two, if they think they can expel Indians, they can't even do that. Who will run their country? Who will make their country? Who will make buildings there? Right? So it's a blackmail. My tragedy, what I'm more upset about, the fifth columnist here who derived this sadistic pleasures because of some geopolitical entity, Qatar. Many people in the world may not be even knowing where this country exists. These people were drawing here in India spiritual excess, this sadistic ecstasy, because they tried to defame, they tried to bully India. That's was it. These are fifth columnists. This is called pan-Islamizing forward. And when you tell them about any other country, oh, well, what's happening in Saudi Arabia, what's happening in other countries, oh, why do we have to talk about our Islamizing Islam? Now, why are you not protesting against Qatar poking its dirty nose in India's internal affairs? That's hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy. So this is what I have maintained. I only hope and pray the law takes its course, but the kind of reaction that has come that exposes the hypocrisy and that radical brazenness in the Islamists in India, as I say always, my concluding comment on what's happening around what you saw Juma 10th June yesterday, it is an expression of this pan-Islamic fervor and ideology which is intolerant. And unless you contain Kashmir Jihad in Kashmir, you will see this is an expression. What you witnessed yesterday is ominous of uh, emerging dozens of Kashmir across India. So India has to be very, very careful. Kind of slogans you heard in Kashmir, Srinagar. There's a video running around how they have, shown this in video. Nupur
Yeah.
Sharma being
I'm going
beheaded.
to that. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah,
that.
and then
Yeah.
also Badrawa. What kind of disgusting comments were made the pulpits of the mosque? I don't know how can they do that right from the mosque. So we have to take and these left liberal secular people who try to be in support of Islamists, and I don't know why the case has not been lodged against the man who was on the television show who made a nasty statement and provoked Nupur to make that statement. I think
Yeah.
that man also should have been tried for it. I get angry on television. I've tried many times. It comes to a situation I feel like beating somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it's not true. As I said, I'm ensure that I do not cross the limit. I do not talk about faith. That's not part of my narrative. I never do that. I advise everybody respect faith because we have to live with it. Sanatani Muslims are here. They are with you. They are part of our country.
Meera is asking you, Mr. Ambardar, why do you think our government buckled down under pressure from these Arab nations?
Pardon me. Repeat the first line.
Yeah. Why do you think our government buckled down under pressure from these Arab nations?
Uh, I think we haven't buckled down. And I know about Narendra Modi. He doesn't take people up front. If you see his politics from Gujarat, he does what else does. He does it very coolly. And you won't even realize what he has done. And there was an uplift. And don't forget, it's not just Qatar alone. I've been always saying about it. The Home Department of United States of America, which went silent, almost silent during Trump's period. Otherwise, it has been historically and traditionally hostile to India. And when they were this guy was in the fray for elections, even then I said the moment Joe Biden comes into power, this hostile home State Department will come active again, and India is going to be troublesome for India. I know they also have a part to play in putting India under pressure. There may be other foreign countries also. I don't know how good China is with the Qataris. So maybe even China is playing a part in that, just to defame India, demonize Hindus. So that is a project which runs this toolkit. Possibly it came suddenly, some toolkit was lying somewhere, and that has been just put into application. So we're not afraid of them. As I said, I'm sure something has been done to convey to them, you are dependent on us, we are not. Suppose today we just stop buying it from them from Russians. It's much cheaper. It will come much cheaper. I think Qataris would understand that. They would very well understand. And then Saudi Arabia and all those countries, it has to be competitive because, as I said, Saudi Arabia is taking lead in reforming Islam from within. And but at the same time, they also have to cater to their own population sentiments. And possibly they made it because of it's not going to hurt anyway India's relation with Arab countries. I can assure you that those
Lalitji,
traditional good relations that with whom we maintain bilaterally useful relations. It's not going to affect that.
yeah, Lalitji, do you know that in Kerala, a different group has come now? They are people who are leaving the Muslim religion. So they are called the ex-Muslim group. Have you heard of that?
I've heard it. There are a lot many people come. I saw the other day they were talking about it. This guy came on one of the television channels, and that the mullah there, he just could not stand him. And you have to understand, why it is strange to you and me.
Yeah.
Even if you're an Gnostic, you're an atheist, you still remain a Hindu.
Yeah.
You still remain an atheist because my philosophy is dialectics. We talk, we question. I have a right to question my God, right? You heard many films, and that's a real thing. God forbid there's something going on within me personally. I can go and tell God, damn it, what the hell are you doing with me? I have a right to complain to my God in whatever manner, in under whatever circumstance, in whatever mood. I'm not a slave of my God. Be clear about it. I'm not a slave of it because I see God in you. When I say namaskara, I see God in you. I say I bow to the God within you. So that's my philosophy. That's why you find it strange. How can people be so radicalized, so cut? They do not even spare this lady called Taslima Nasreen and Salman Khurshid is still under threat. And what they did in France, what did they do in America? So this is entirely a different approach to your belief. And then it doesn't fall within spirituality. As I say, it's political. It's
Yeah.
all political.
Also,
It's all about
also,
supremacy.
yeah, it goes down to the fact that, see, there's something bigger in the picture, like the black movement in America, where they wanted to overthrow Trump. They're doing the same thing with Modi ji, and also the fact that, see, because India's been buying oil from Russia, that has upset them, and then they've
Yes.
said that our wheat is not good, and they want to return the wheat. So this is all leading, and then suddenly these protests have started. So it's all a targeted movement towards this.
You know, when I say about the toolkit format is already in the hands of our adversaries, and unfortunately, it's being applied, put into practice by fifth colonialists within India. They only had to change the topic. Otherwise, they know what to do. And the target is, as you rightly point, targeted Narendra Modi. Target is Hindus, demonize Hindus, defame India, all with the purpose to somehow overthrow Narendra Modi. That's
Yeah.
it. And I feel sad that even within the Parivar and I don't think the party should have just disowned Nupur Sharma. It's a
Yeah.
you can't call it a fringe element. You're a Hindu.
Yeah.
You just speak. Yes, if you are hurt, she has apologized for it. And
Yeah.
if you're hurt, the case has been lodged against her. The case.
Yeah.
Why disown her? Why
Yeah.
disown her? And I mean, and she did not concoct anything. That we all know. I've been watching this Naik's videos and heard this statement many a times. Everybody knows it. And but I don't really ridicule it. This is part of if it is part of faith, it has to be respected. In what circumstance, how it happened, I don't even need to go into the details. I don't want to even read that. But we hear it, we come across it. But as I said, it's somebody's faith, and I have no business to even comment on it.
Yeah.
Look, the Iranians came here. Iranians came here on the following day. They came here, did the business, and went away.
Yeah.
So, because they have their own intra-religious contradictions. As they say, Shia-Sunni conflict is the longest ongoing conflict in the world. Same followers of same prophet, follow same book. So that's their problem, not my problem. But then as long as this problem is related, is causing destruction of a civilization called Syria, is called destruction. Lakhs of people are being killed only in the name of this conflict in Yemen. It concerns us. Because I know that some of the best people I have come across in the world are Syrians or even Iraqis before Saddam Hussein went mad.
Yeah. Going to the news bit where Kashmir-based YouTuber Faisal Wani, who depicted the
Yes.
beheading of Nupur, deletes the tweet and apologizes. And this man, who had earlier posted a VFX video depicting the beheading of suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur, has now deleted his tweet and said in an apology, "I apologize. I'm extremely sorry if someone is hurt due to me." He was quoted as saying by media. Nupur, who had made certain comments from the Quran, has been facing death threats for the last few days. Protests have erupted in parts of the country, with some asking for the arrest and even hanging of the former BJP leader. So that's also happened in the midst of all this.
She has not even quoted Quran, by the way. It's Hadith. It has nothing to
Yeah,
do with Quran. It's Hadith, and which many Muslims themselves do not agree with,
yeah,
right? So, and people even Zakir Naik, there's a statement all there in the public. He says the same thing what she said. She may have said with a different tone and temper because she was angry. Somebody had
yeah,
provoked her. Somebody talked
yes,
ill about Mahadeva. So she
yes,
said about that. But about this man, it's not. It doesn't matter whether he deletes and apologizes. It shows the mentality. It shows what we suffered in Kashmir, what Kashmir Jihad is all about. And this, including this government, wants to push back to these very wolves in Kashmir. What you heard in Badarwa, what you saw in the streets of Srinagar yesterday, it was relatively low, unlike the rest of India. But then this man shows the mentality of the people there. Sartan se juda. This is medieval expression, civilizational expression. And why should it be? Why should it be in India? We have not called it in a freedom of expression. Government people have put cases against them. Let the law take its own course. Let them decide. Even Kasab was allowed that courtesy, right? So every terrorist is offered that legal courtesy. So why not Nupur Sharma? We're not living in medieval times. So I think these people, as I said, a lot depends on the mullahs, and there are good mullahs also. I heard them saying on the television, should not be doing it, but I don't think they control the masses. They control the mobs.
I wanted to discuss Jammu and Kashmir with you, but I think your time is over, is it?
I give you 2 minutes more. Last, if you had
Yeah.
something in
So
Kashmir,
yeah,
come on, let's
yeah.
finish it.
So just wanted to ask you: target killings are acts of desperation, says the Lieutenant General Manoj Sinha. He stated that the militants want to provoke security forces to commit a mistake so that the people can protest against them.
No, I don't agree with it. This is not target killing. This is not just what do you call one off kind of a thing. I have said it earlier. This is a hybrid war. Kashmir Jihad has evolved into a hybrid war. They are doing what they are doing is pre-planned. Don't forget, Pulwama was done by one wolf, right? I heard other than television on TV, BJP spokesman. I don't know. They have no understanding what India is on hand in Kashmir. That's why we continue to suffer, including this government. This spokesperson says there are only few left there who are like pickpockets and chain snatchers who will finish them within 5 days, 7 days, 1 week, 2 days. This is the understanding they have on Kashmir. And this is not just off. Pulwama was done by one jihadist, and it was an act of war when 40 our brave hearts were killed, who carried at least 41 each, carried an AK-47 rifle. It was an act of war. It provoked action of war. We went and targeted them in Balakot. So please understand. Another day, I'm again disappointed when there was such a meeting, serious meeting held in North Block. I thought what would emerge out of North Block would be Ajit Doval doctrine. Unfortunately, what emerged, what I hear, there's not an official statement of what transpired there. What we hear from sources, in fact, this was said by one of, you say, I think we talked about it last time, I think on your channel. Did we? No, I know. We haven't talked about it. After the meeting, we didn't meet. So this was said, one of the owners of a very, this ANI, she said what is being heard is, from that I can easily conclude what prevails in North Block, unfortunately, is A.S. Dulat's doctrine. And it's very unfortunate. And that doctrine is that if you want to hold Kashmir, it has to be by the very Islamists who are responsible for the cycle of death and destruction in Kashmir. That's very unfortunate. This government is no different as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. I wish Narendra Modi takes the Kashmir issue in his own hands and handles it. Otherwise, is maligning, damaging his image. Because he's represented the party stand that is translated to them, transported to them, conveyed to them by the local BJP cadre unit of Jammu and Kashmir and the Parivar. This is misleading and it's wrong information being fed to Narendra Modi.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lalitji, for this wonderful session. Always look forward to your sessions. Thank you from the viewers
pleasure.
as well.
My pleasure, man. Again, we only talked about political Islam. No comment on faith, which is not part of our narrative. We respect every faith. It's only about the political Islam, which everybody talks about. It's Islamism, right?
Yeah.
And Islamism.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Jai Hind, then bye.
Jai Hind.
Thank you.